Hello everyone, Mr. Happy here, and in this video we're going to be checking out the patch 4.4 trailer, Prelude in Violet. This is take number 2, so I'm sure there's going to be some funny YouTube videos for those of you who have seen the live Twitch attempt at recording these videos. Just know that regardless of what happened, I love all of you. Anyway, I have not watched this trailer yet before this video. I have seen now, I guess, the first 8 seconds of it before we ran into some technical difficulties, so I'll rewind that a little bit. And so we're going to be doing first watch, my reactions, analysis. I did receive some tweets saying that a certain aspect of the trailer may have been, let's just say, in line with potential expectations. I'm not going to dive into that topic at all in this video. I think everything that needed to be said was said on State of the Realm. So all I'm going to say is I'm just going to let nature take its course on that one, and we're going to leave that topic in the past. All right? So with that, let's watch the trailer. And if you're watching this on YouTube, by the way, description of the video, there will be a link to the original because I'm going to be talking over this one pretty much the entire time. So anyway, with that, let's get started. I hope it's not too loud. If it is, I can just adjust it on the fly. Turn it down a teensy bit.
Ahead looms light, expunging all form and life.
I needed my headset on for that because I couldn't hear what he was saying.
And we for our part are glad indeed to be able to welcome friends both old
I don't like when we all get together like this. Bad things happen.
Accept my heartfelt thanks for your generous invitation.
Oh, Thancred's back. All right.
Talk is rife that Doma has summoned a primal, and the Empire's more liberal voices are being drowned out in the fearful clamor for retribution.
And it's as we feared.
The Populares no longer present an obstacle. Now is the time to bring the Empire's might to bear.
That's got to be part of the burn. We're not getting an Allegan dungeon this patch. Or Garlean, my bad.
I could not sense in him the spark of life that is his soul.
To have the people I hold dear struck down before my eyes and be powerless to help them. That.
Oh wow, Pyros and Lava Zuzu right there looks pretty good.
Tenzin, 'tis I! Sheathe your sword, I beg of you!
Alright, that's dope.
Yes!
Oh, by the way, why does she look like Kuja?
Has my soul burned so?
What does she have to do with anything?
Insolent child.
Alright. Magna and Sada are back.
In your place.
Yeah, so tweets. That's again all I'll say. I received tweets. So, what am I gonna say here?
That way. Sora.
Sid.
It's been changed.
See, bad things.
Ahead looms light, expunging all form and life. Twin dooms only you can forestall. Only you. Throw wide the gates that we may pass.
Don't go back to that.
Ahead looms a calamity.
That's not good. And there's nothing at the end here. Okay, so first off, I turned the music up midway because I do have some live feedback saying it could be a little louder. Some people saying it's fine, some people it's too quiet. So we turned it up a little bit. So normally I do these trailers, I do the analysis in quiet because like I turn the audio off because because of you know, I just do it. I need to listen to that last part again because that sounds like Arbert, the Warrior of Darkness, for those who don't remember him. So
You can forestall.
hold on, let me go back further. I gotta go back even further. I gotta go all the wow, he was talking for a long time.
Sora, 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 Sora. He's been changed. Ahead looms light, expunging all form and life.
It's either Alphino or Arbert. I can't really tell.
Dooms only you can forestall. Only you.
It's Arbert.
Throw wide the gates that we may pass.
That's okay. That doesn't sound like that part doesn't sound like Alphino. The rest is kinda up in the air because of the effects, but
Ahead looms a calamity.
yeah, that's Arbert. I'm going with Arbert. Like the first parts, the accent kind of sounds like Alphino, but that sounds like I'm pretty sure that's Arbert talking. Also, expunging all form. I mean, that's literally what Arbert was. Oh no! All of a sudden, Shadowbringer starts sounding like a much more viable thing. Well, not oh no, but like it's all starting to come together a little bit. So I'm actually going to tackle that part first because there's a lot that's said right there. It's like something sorrow. Hold on, I'm going to listen to it one more time because it's very important to me. That way, sorrow. I gotta have both parts of the headset on because the sound doesn't come through one side. Something is changing. History is changing.
Ahead looms light, expunging all form and life.
Okay, that one was very legible or hearable.
Twin dooms only you
Dooms.
can forestall.
Only you can forestall.
Throw wide the gates that we may pass.
Throw wide the gates that we may pass.
Ahead looms a calamity.
And ahead looms a calamity. That's the last one. Leave me alone, Windows. I turned all those notifications off and I still get them, man. Anyway, so that part right there sounds like Arbert. And it sounds like he's warning us of the exact same thing he warned us about back in 3.4. Now in 4.4, reiterating it. I'm pretty sure that, I don't know if those are his exact lines from back then, or if those are new things that he's saying to us. But it pretty much seems to be the whole overflowing the world with light problem. Twin dooms only you can forestall. That could be tough because I think twin dooms means that you either have a calamity of light or calamity of darkness, and either way, there's doom. But it sounds like Arbert is if that's not just a reference to what he said before, something real bad's about to happen. Now the trademark from Twitter's trademark bot that we saw that Square Enix filed back in May, or that was officially approved back in June, was called Shadowbringers. So if we're worried about the source, which is the world we're from, being covered in light, all of a sudden everything Arbert there, it makes sense if we are coming to that. It doesn't seem like we are. The Empire is like, unless it's like the events of like 5.1 and on have like led us to that point. It's a tough call there, but I definitely feel like that is Arbert warning us of the calamity of light that we had before. So, all right. So anyway, with that, at least that also covers the text, or not the text. The audio at the beginning is the same audio. So we'll just, at this point, we could just go back and kind of watch portions of the trailer. But there are other audio lines I want to have in there. I'm going to turn the audio down though, so I have a little bit easier time hearing it. So that's a hype trailer. The music was hype. See, that's the kind of trailer when they've moved to these new types of trailers where it's not like, hey, here's this piece of content, here's that piece of content, and they kind of mishmash it up with some red herrings and stuff. That's like an expansion quality trailer right there. So whoever did this trailer, make sure they do the 4.5 and 5.0 ones, because that was dope. Now, let's go back and watch this. The beginning is chaos. There's not really much to say. It's Omega and chaos here at the beginning. So I'll let the audio actually play. Like I said, I've just turned it down a little bit. Friggin' chaos. When your first boss in a raid tier is chaos, it's a whole nother level. So this right here immediately leaves me concerned, because first, okay, so we have, let's get the round table. So on the right we have Thancred, who's clearly come back with the information he spied on from the Empire. In fact, the scene after this, he's going over the things that he's managed to glean while he's there. We have Ishtola, we have Alice, we have the Warrior of Light. Across the table, we have Raubon and Lys sitting at the head right here, whose back of the head we're seeing is Hien. And we have the leaders of the nations, including Ishgard. We have Nanamo, we have Connie Senna, we have Merlwub, and we have, oh man, it's been so long, I almost forgot I pretty much have forgotten his name. He's been like a non-factor. Yeah, Amaric. He's been like a non-factor. It's just like, why doesn't his name? I was like, Well, that just shows how much we've missed him. Dude, I barely remember you. What you been up to? It's about time we got Amaric back in the fold.
And we for our part are glad indeed to be able to welcome friends both old and new.
Pray.
Alright, Hien being here.
Thanks for your generous invitation.
They all got papers in front of them too. So I'm wondering what the actual point of this meeting is. I don't know if it's the information Thancred has gleaned. I don't know if it's talking about Xenos and the potential Ascian possessing his body problem. I'd imagine it has to be those two things, with Thancred being back. It seems to be the two most pertinent subjects that would be on the table, especially because it would mean, especially with what happened with Doma in 4.3, the potential acts of war and the potential retaliation is pretty much the biggest problem that we're facing right now. It was all part of their plan, but it's those are probably the biggest things we're looking to deal with.
Talk is rife that Doma has summoned a primal.
Yeah, so...
And the Empire's more liberal voices are being drowned out in the fearful clamor for...
So, I'm going to interrupt him. These, the first time I saw looking through, I thought these were like petrified bodies. These are just the bodies from the role-playing event, and now that time has passed, they've been covered in the dust that is the burn. So it's just, we're at the site of where Alphino and the Shadowhunter fought last time. This is interesting, though. So this is a cutscene, but then this part right here looks like it's part of the dungeon. Like, this part right here specifically looks like it's part of the dungeon because it's done from that that perspective that makes it seem like it's part of the dungeon. It immediately goes into dungeon footage right after that. And I guess, you know, Burn's got enough ether for a little bit of life. I got a dragon. There was a whole bunch of shards on the ground. Are these... Hold on, I need to... Okay, so I would have liked to have assumed that these were Shadowhunters people. Like, this is his camp or something, and that it's been ravaged by enemy forces. That's what I'd like to think, because I don't know where this is. I'd have to imagine this is closer to Garlemald. Not... I mean, it's with Alphino and Shadowhunter, so it's most likely further north. But otherwise, it's like, it looks the most like the Four Lands, but they're not going to be in the Four Lands. It was over in the other continent. They're not going to be all the way over there. Anyway, but either it's got to be someplace closer to Garlemald, because there's no way they went all the way over to the other one. I can't see if they have jewels in their head, if these are Garleans that Shadowhunter here has got. It's just because she has hair that goes over the middle of her head right here.
The Empire's might to bear.
There he is. So this has to be, like, there's no way this is anything but part of the burn, because it doesn't make sense. We know what the two dungeons are this patch. St. Mosion's gets focused on a little bit later. So this has to be like the last little stretch of the burn, like a Garlean outpost or something like that. I can't really imagine it being anywhere else. So, oh, you know what? I thought this was going to be part of the story. I think this is part of Doman Reconstruction, because look who's standing here. Yeah, yeah, I thought maybe this was like gonna tell us a little bit more about, I guess about what's happened this story so far. This looks to me like it's a cutscene from the Doman reconstruction, specifically not from the main story quest. At least, yeah. I'd imagine it's honoring all the souls that we lost overall. Yeah, that is the Doman. That's literally, we're in the Doman Enclave right there. So let's go back because she says a line right there that's pretty important.
Reach out as I may. I could not sense in him the spark of life that is his soul.
I could not sense within him the spark of life that is his soul. So that's got a few potential things. I'm thinking back again because of we already not established, but we're presuming Arbert is the one who's dealing with who's giving us that line at the end. Again, don't remember if it's a callback, but I think back to 3.4 being called Soul Surrender, and I'm curious about souls not being present in bodies, specifically because of the way that the Warrior of Darkness had to travel between the realms and had to basically give up their physical form. So I was in the middle of recording something. Now I've been here like 20 minutes. I gotta start over. Yeah, he's over here.
Well, he has to go.
All right, well, he's right here.
You knew that he had to go. I don't know why you let him in here.
I didn't let him in here. I didn't know he was in here. Come on, Aloha. Aloha, come on. You ruined my recording. All right. Fuck it, I'm leaving it in the video. All right, we're continuing. Oh, we're leaving it in. We're too far in. We're not stopping. All right. So getting back on track. So again, going back to the whole soul surrender thing. I'm wondering. So then I look back to this scene also. These people don't just look dead. Look at them. I wonder if there's something deeper going on with the Asians at this point, because they're just they look more than dead. They look like they've straight up been like had every ounce of their soul in their body removed and everything. So, yeah, that's bad. It's very bad. It's the eyes. The eyes are just pure white. Not that we haven't had dead people with just pure white eyes before. But I wonder if it has something more to do with that.
I could not sense in him the spark of life that is his soul.
And we have Alice's line here.
To have the people I hold dear struck down before my eyes and be powerless to help them.
Right.
That I cannot bear.
So Alice is talking about people being struck down, people she loves being struck down. So here's the thing. That's got a lot of possible meanings as well. It could be something as simple as she feels powerless, like she feels useless, and not that something has already happened. There's also a scene later on that's a big mystery about whether it has something to do with the Echo, whether it has something to do with being poisoned, or if it has something to do with what's happening over in the Azim Steppe overall. So I don't want to say that means somebody dies this patch, because I've thought that so many times before, and it's just not where my first predictions go anymore. And it has nothing to do with this scene with them over in the third part of Eureka. It's got nothing to do with them. That's just one of those, one of those edits for one of these videos. But here's the thing: who would die? Like, Alphino's completely separated from the group. So it could even be that we went to the burn, or she's now heard that Alphino was struck down in the burn, or the airship was struck down in the burn. Like, there's so many potential things here that this feels like probably the biggest red herring of the patch. So I don't know how I feel about this. I can't really read this one all that well.
Down before my eyes and be powerless to help them. That I cannot bear.
All right, so I have in my Twitch chat, the French version translates to, "And still I am the same, weak and incapable of saving my brother and comrades. It's exasperating." See, that makes it sound more like she heard that his ship was shot down. Good.
Tenzin, 'tis I. Sheathe your sword, I beg of you.
I like the idea that Suzaku is like gone crazy, because that's what it seems like, because she seems to think we're Tenzin. Either that or it's audio from another scene. But with Byakko, Byakko wasn't voiced outside of his actual encounter. So I'd have to imagine that she's insanity, just mistaking our particular Warrior of Light with Tenzin, since he was a Warrior of Light also. That makes the most sense, but she's going crazy. I think the Aramatama is really getting to her head. And so much so that she goes from naked to clothed to people, because we do actually get to see the Suzaku form I guess we were kind of expecting to see, which almost reminds me of Kuja. Like, it doesn't really, like, it's not really the same outfit, but like the hair and I guess the form and the grace reminds me of Kuja a little bit. But yeah, that looks to be Suzaku's Aramatama, similar to the way that Byaku's was, except Suzaku's is a little bit more elegant, I suppose. Because she's riding on top of herself, which reminds me of Byaku having his original form as his arm. This is like, hey, I'm my own mount kind of thing. I gotta say, the music for Suzaku is fantastic in the trailer, and is actually really well put with some of the story segments that they mix with it. On top of that, Suzaku, we don't really get to glean too much from the encounter itself. We glean that it looks like, I see, so this is the big thing. There's arrows pointing for each of these. You can see one's pointing like to the top left, to the bottom left, to the top right. There's like 3 of them pointing to the top right. So there's some stuff going on. I wonder if that's what the direction the orbs are actually traveling. Because no, you can see, and then this one's up. And I wonder what like the actual meaning is, but they have one person on each of them. So there are 8 circles here. I don't think we'll have a Nidhogg where the 8 circles don't do anything. I don't know if they're hexaflares. I don't know if they're also pulsing, by the way. I feel like every time somebody steps on one, they're actually changing. Because look, there's a little section where you can step on them, and then they like pulse outwards. So I'm curious what those actually do, but it's a very nice looking phase at the very least. We also have, of course, the resurrection of the Benus, which happens right here. We saw that in the live letter itself. And before that, we see a lot of feathers drop like that. So not really too much to gleam in particular. Those feathers, I feel like, they almost remind me of the Fenrir icicles, where they probably lift up and shoot in a direction of a player. That's what I would guess at the very least. But other than that, I can't really glean too much else about what's going on here, other than it looks dope. I gotta admit, so far having Sadu and Magnai, and also later we see the Crooked Coin, or the House of the Crooked Coin, all of a sudden for that to take shape, I mean, I guess it's the area closest to the burn. I mean, no, it's not, because there's a whole desert in between them. I don't know, that's a total mystery to me, what's going on there. And then we have what looks to be some bad stuff happening right here. Wait a minute. So is it just me, or is Alphino wearing different? Like, it kind of looks like they just look darker. I don't know if it's because of like the editing for the scene that they look darker, and especially Mr. Colorblind here can't help much at all. He's just got like he looks darker. I don't know. I don't know if it's just the lighting, but his outfit looks darker here. That's all it is. I'll just leave it at that. And yeah, like, what are we doing? What's going on with this part right here? I'm not gonna say anything. Midgard's armor. You happy? We're getting a mini Midgard's armor. By the way, the walls look like they would kill you. We already went over what Arbert's saying, so we're gonna skip that part right there. Could be Kaiser Dragon. Oh no. Yeah, sure. Let's do it. So Sid's scared. He's shaking. He is scared. He's just looking at it. Oh, it looks like he's better again, by the way. Nero, we all thought Nero was in a bit of trouble. He was poisoned in the last set of Omegas. So, and then here's 2 seconds of Mosion's Arboretum. We have another scene with Varys. See, this scene right here is really weird. I don't know what's like, it almost looks... This part looks like our soul has been removed from our body, or something like that. Because it looks like we're seeing... like, almost from like another realm, we're seeing what's going on here. Because this is in This isn't where the meeting was taking place. This little scene right here. This is in the this is in Mordona in the Rising Stones. So I don't know if this happens before and we have to have a meeting to cover. I don't know if it's our Echo like being thrown into like an ultra sensitivity. Could it be Arbert talking to people and trying to send them a message? There's so many possible things with that one. Or it's just like a vision that we're seeing that hasn't actually happened, isn't actually happening, won't happen, or is a prediction of what will happen if we continue on our path along the same lines of what Arbert is actually saying. And then this is in the meeting. This is actually at the meeting place. And they're freaking out about it too. But it looks like we're freaking out about it because it looks like this is coming from our perspective. So we're probably we had an episode like this probably towards the beginning of the patch, and we're having another episode. And like the first, well, you know what? That kind of makes sense because at the beginning of the trailer, we get portions of what Arbert was saying. And at the end of the trailer, we get everything Arbert was saying. So it would make sense that there's this, that's sort of what the thing is. Yeah, it's all the people using the Echo that are having these freak episodes. So, you know, people who have the Echo generally, you know, it's a very sensitive thing. Like, I'd imagine this is something Fordola would go through with her Revenant, and therefore doesn't have anything to do with the Revenant and its effect on other Echo users. Is the Revenant being used as a weapon against Echo users, like remotely? Whew. Wait, no, he's totally else. They don't have the Echo. What am I talking about? That's not true. That's not true. You're right. They don't have the Echo. That's one of the things they don't have. They don't do that. Yeah, the Resonant, not the Revenant. See, I'm trying to go too fast here. Yeah, let me go back to this part right here. Well, Merlop's not the one freaking out. She's the one looking around. They are highly attuned to ether. So it would have to be an etheric disturbance. I don't think it's just like I don't think it's just poison. It could be the science. There's so many possibilities here. But yeah, never mind. They're not Echo. They're not blessed with the Echo. Kryle's the one with the Echo that's still left. Fordola as well. And Ehrenwald. And none of them are present there. So it could... It's a question. It's a big question. Because it doesn't look like they're the enemy leaders. It doesn't look like they're reacting like they're having an episode. It looks like they're reacting to all of like us and possibly the other Scions. Us having episodes. So that's, yeah, they're just like, wait, what's going on? I don't understand. He's walking away from Varys. We need another shot of that, clearly. Alpha, don't cry. Alpha's sad, man. He's running through space. I'd have to imagine like, Alpha can't survive this. Like, Alpha's a creation of Omega. So I have to imagine he does, no matter what, especially with one of the scenes coming up, there's no way he survives this ordeal. We have Chaos here. Omega fighting us in his robot form. Now this is probably going to be the most, for me, this was among the most intriguing things that happened. We already know some crazy stuff is going on inside of the, I don't know why I'm not using the keyboard commands, is going around in the Osium Steppe. We have no idea what Sado and Magnai are going on, what's going on there. But the House of the House of the Crooked Coin is a place where the Tharl believe that if you die, you won't be reincarnated, I think is what it is. So we're going to learn what that thing actually is by the looks of it. Because, listen, Ystola's had a red flag over her for a long time. So I don't know if she's trying to use its energy to restore her sight. I don't know if she's trying to tap into it to solve one of the issues between the tribes. Who the hell knows? Maybe she's using it as an etherite. Like, there's possibilities there, but with it being Y'shtola, I just always feel like every time I see her in a trailer, it's just something she's doing that's killing her. Just because of the way her sight is working right now. Chaos having a good time in all his Dissidia model goodness. And then we have Omega drifting, Alpha's feather disappearing. Alice in the burn, Omega drifting some more. Omega shooting AoEs at people, wave cannon being dope, and then the trailer ends. Oh man. Alphino also being the last person they show in that trailer is a little interesting. To be fair though, the way they did it is they started with the Emperor, then on the last scene they went to Varys, Varys popped up, then the last scene they went to Xenos, Xenos popped up, and then Shadowhunter and Alphino just came later. So, man, there's a lot. I don't think I've ever had to digest so much from a 3.5 minute trailer for in between patches or like in between expansions. That was intense. Like there's so many things going on there. It's such a spicy trailer. Oh man. That's intense. That's very intense. And then on top of that, there's this. Like, there's the whole burning away of that. I don't know if that's significant of anything, but it's a shadowy flame. So, man, I think that trademark for Shadowbringers is starting to look a little bit more. It's a violet, but it's a shadowy violet burn. That's similar. That's where I'm going with. All right, I don't know, man. Either way, it's a lot to digest. It is. Oh boy, I mean, I've covered all the points individually. There's so many questions that I have. I'm normally not that excited for a story patch that isn't the very last one or the expansion itself. But this trailer did a good job. This trailer did a really good job of getting me mega excited. Mega excited. That was woo. Okay. So I think I need to wrap up the video there. This is just getting posted in its entirety from when we started watching to now, which is why I'm not editing out everything that happened with Aloha when Mel busts in the room like, hey, where's Aloha? I'm like, damn it. I'm not doing it. It's going on YouTube right now. It's going on YouTube right after this. So I'm going to wrap up this video. I've got some Dragon Quest XI to play, and I want you guys to discuss it in the comment section of the YouTube video. So do that, because I'm sure I missed things, and I'm sure I misspoke about things because of the live nature of the video. So I look forward to reading what those comments are going to say. I got to get to playing some Dragon Quest XI here on the Twitch stream, though. So thank you, everyone, for watching. I will see you all in the next video. And until then, take care.